Intercourse by Andrea Dworkin. For MS. All changed, changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. W. B. Yeats, Easter 1916. True rebels, after all, are as rare as true lovers, and in both cases, to mistake a fever for a passion can destroy one's life. James Baldwin, No Name in the Street. He lost no time, got his belt undone, said, I could go through you like butter. Edna O'Brien, Night. Preface. When I finished writing Intercourse, one colleague advised me to add an introduction to explain what the book said. That way, readers would not be shocked, afraid, or angry, because the ideas would be familiar, pre-chewed, easier to digest. I would be protected from bad or malicious readings and purposeful distortions, and my eagerness to explain myself would show that I wanted people to like me and my book, the quintessential feminine pose. At least one knee would be visibly bent. Other colleagues, probably more to the point, told me straight out to publish it under a pseudonym. I would not, and Intercourse became, socially speaking, a Rorschach inkblot in which people saw their fantasy caricatures of me and what they presumed to know about me. First published in the United States in 1987, simultaneously with my novel Ice and Fire, Intercourse is still being reviled in print by people who have not read it, reduced to slogans by journalists posing as critics or sages or deep thinkers, treated as if it were odious and hateful by every asshole who thinks that what will heal this violent world is more respect for dead white men. My colleagues, of course, had been right, but their advice offended me. I have never written for a cowardly or passive or stupid reader, the precise characteristics of most reviewers, overeducated but functionally illiterate, members of a gang, a pack, who do their drive-by shootings in print and experience what they call the street at cocktail parties. I heard it on the street, they say, meaning a penthouse closer to heaven. It is no accident that most of the books published in the last few years about the decline and fall of Anglo-European culture because of the polluting effect of women of all races and some men of color, and there are a slew of such books, have been written by white boy journalists. Abandoning the J-school ethic of who, what, when, where, how, and the discipline of Hemingway's lean masculine prose, they now try to answer why. That decline and fall, they say, is because talentless uppity women infest literature, or because militant feminists are an obstacle to the pro-rape, pro-dominance art of talented living or dead men, or because the multicultural reader, likely to be female and or not white, values Alice Walker and Toni Morrison above Aristotle and the Marquis de Sade. Hallelujah, I say. Intercourse is a book that moves through the sexed world of dominance and submission. It moves in descending circles, not in a straight line, and, as in a vortex, each spiral goes down deeper. Its formal model is Dante's Inferno, its lyrical debt is to Rimbaud. The equality it envisions is rooted in the dreams of women, silent generations, pioneer voices, lone rebels, and masses who agitated, demanded, cried out, broke laws, and even begged. The begging was a substitute for retaliatory violence, doing bodily harm back to those who use or injure you. I want women to be done with begging. The public censure of women as if we are rabid because we speak without apology about the world in which we live is a strategy of threat that usually works. Men often react to women's words, speaking and writing, as if they were acts of violence. Sometimes men react to women's words with violence, so we lower our voices. Women whisper, women apologize, women shut up, women trivialize what we know, women shrink, women pull back. Most women have experienced enough dominance from men, control, violence, insult, contempt, that no threat seems empty. Intercourse does not say, forgive me and love me. It does not say, I forgive you, I love you. For a woman writer to thrive, or arguably to survive, in these current hard times, forgiveness and love must be subtext. No, I say no. Can a man read Intercourse? Can a man read a book written by a woman in which she uses language without its ever becoming decorative or pretty? Can a man read a book written by a woman in which she, the author, has a direct relationship to experience, ideas, literature, life, including fucking, without mediation, such that what she says and how she says it are not determined by boundaries men have set for her? Can a man read a woman's work if it does not say what he already knows? Can a man let in a challenge not just to his dominance but to his cognition? And specifically, am I saying that I know more than men about fucking? Yes, I am. Not just different, more and better, deeper and wider, the way anyone used knows the user. Intercourse does not narrate my experience to measure it against Norman Mailer's or D.H. Lawrence's. The first person is embedded in the way the book is built. I use Tolstoy, Kobo Abe, James Baldwin, Tennessee Williams, Isaac Bashevis Singer, Flaubert, not as authorities but as examples. I use them, I cut and slice into them in order to exhibit them, but the authority behind the book, behind each and every choice, is mine. In formal terms, then, Intercourse is arrogant, cold, and remorseless. You, the reader, will not be looking at me, the girl, you will be looking at them. In Intercourse, I created an intellectual and imaginative environment in which you can see them. The very fact that I usurp their place, make them my characters, lessens the unexamined authority that goes not with their art but with their gender. I love the literature these men created, but I will not live my life as if they are real and I am not. Nor will I tolerate the continuing assumption that they know more about women than we know about ourselves, and I do not believe that they know more about intercourse. Habits of deference can be broken, and it is up to writers to break them. Submission can be refused, and I refuse it. Of course, men have read and do read Intercourse. Many like it and understand it. Some few have been thrilled by it. It suggests to them a new possibility of freedom, a new sexual ethic, and they do not want to be users. Some men respond to the radicalism of Intercourse, the ideas, the prose, the structure, the questions that both underlie and intentionally subvert meaning. But if one's sexual experience has always and without exception been based on dominance, not only overt acts but also metaphysical and ontological assumptions, how can one read this book? The end of male dominance would mean, in the understanding of such a man, the end of sex. If one has eroticized a differential in power that allows for force as a natural and inevitable part of intercourse, how could one understand that this book does not say that all men are rapists or that all intercourse is rape? Equality in the realm of sex is an anti-sexual idea if sex requires dominance in order to register as sensation. As sad as I am to say it, the limits of the old Adam and the material power he still has, especially in publishing and media, have set limits on the public discourse by both men and women about this book. In general, women get to say yea or nay to intercourse, which is taken to be a synonym for sex, echt sex. In this reductive brave new world, women like sex or we do not. We are loyal to sex or we are not. The range of emotions and ideas expressed by Tolstoy et al. Is literally forbidden to contemporary women. Remorse, sadness, despair, alienation, obsession, fear, greed, hate, all of which men, especially male artists, express, are simple no votes for women. Compliance means yes. A simplistic rah-rah means yes. Affirming the implicit right of men to get laid regardless of the consequences to women is a yes. Reacting against force or exploitation means no. Affirming pornography and prostitution means yes. I like it is the standard for citizenship, and I want it pretty much exhausts the First Amendment's meaning for women. Critical thought or deep feeling puts one into the Puritan camp, that hallucinated place of exile where women with complaints are dumped, after which we can be abandoned. Why, socially speaking, feed a woman you can't fuck? Why fuck a woman who might ask a question, let alone have a complex emotional life or a political idea? I refuse to tolerate this loyalty oath approach to women and intercourse, or women and sexuality, or more to the point, women and men. The pressure on women to say yes now extends to 13-year-old girls who face a social gulag if they are not hot, accommodating, and loyal. Increasingly, they face violence from teenage boys who think that intercourse is ownership. The refusal to let women feel a whole range of feelings, express a whole range of ideas, address her own experience with an honesty that is not pleasing to men, ask questions that discomfort and antagonize men in their dominance, has simply created a new generation of users and victims, children, boys, and girls, respectively. The girls are getting fucked, but they are not getting free or equal. It is time to notice. They get fucked, they get hit, they get raped by boyfriends in high school. Intercourse wants to change what is happening to those girls. Intercourse asks at least some of the right questions. Intercourse conveys the density, complexity, and political significance of the act of intercourse, what it means that men, and now boys, feel entitled to come into the privacy of a woman's body in a context of inequality. Intercourse does this outside the boundaries set by men for women. It crosses both substantive and formal boundaries in what it says and how it says it. For me, the search for truth and change using words is the meaning of writing. The prose, the thinking, the journey is sensuous and demanding. I have always loved the writing that takes one down deep, no matter how strange or bitter or dirty the descent. As a writer, I love the experience of caring, of remembering, of learning more, of asking, of wanting to know and to see and to say. Intercourse is search and assertion, passion and fury, and its form, no less than its content, deserves critical scrutiny and respect. Andrea Dworkin, August 1995, Brooklyn, New York.